Yes, what's going on, everybody? It's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United with another cheeky little video for you. We're here late night for a live show to discuss the day's news, the fallout obviously after the weekend's Premier League fixture, and just the latest goings on surrounding this whole Erik Ten Hag situation with a potential replacement manager or a potential sacking or potentially sticking with him over this international break. We're going to cover all the latest bits and bobs of information that's been coming out in this show and also have a good old chinwag and a Q&A. So get involved in the live chat if you are able to. Have your say throughout. You know it makes sense. How you all doing tonight, guys, in the live chat? Fire Up, Chappie, Mick T, Stephen Shipman, Sully Griffin, Craig Boy, Fire Up, Pete Morris, Mark Cook, Stu, Mark Palfrey, Jonathan Gallagher, Fire Up, Nick Pendragon. What's going on, everybody? Thank you very much, every one of you legends, for getting in here tonight. Shout out to the live chat. Do us a favour at the start of the show. Smash that like button on it. Give us a big like spike. Hit that like on it. Share it around on social media if you can. That would be much appreciated. The link is pinned to the top of the live chat if you could give us a repost. That would be awesome. We'll shout you out later on in the show. Stick around to the end. We're going to have a big Q&A, obviously, but do dip in and out the live show in the chat there throughout, because we will obviously be covering some comments and interacting throughout the show. But stick around to the end, folks, for a big old Q&A. Hello, Derek, Diego, Kingslayer, Nick, Connor, Daz Salford, Thomas Sandfield, Johan Disco, Dave, MUFC fan, Ryo Clown, all the legends getting in here. What's going on? Right, guys, so yesterday, obviously, Manchester United got a draw against Aston Villa away from home, which in itself is not a bad result, and any other time wouldn't really be too much of a problem, especially with Aston Villa actually being a good team right now under Unai Emery. They were not the best edition of themselves either, make no mistake, which is probably why we didn't get battered. But we went there, we got a draw, a clean sheet, not the end of the world, not the worst result in the world. Under normal circumstances, but the circumstances are not normal at Manchester United. We had only 7 points before this game after 6 games. We needed to try and at least get 10 points after 8 games, or 7 games, sorry. And we are now still on just 8 points after 7 games, sitting in, 14th place in the league. It's an absolute debacle. And if you're the United manager overseeing this sort of a start to the season, you best believe you better be trying to win every single game that's in front of you to try and get those points on the board, and obviously to save your job. So he got a draw in the I was going to say Champions League then. Chance would be a fine thing. No, we got a draw in the Europa League, and obviously then we've got a draw in the Premier League as well. The 2 games that were apparently key for Erik Ten Hag to be able to, save his job. Well, yes or no, guys? Do you think he's done enough in those 2 games to save his job? Yes or no in the live chat, have your say. It's a big fat no from me, Carol. Thank you, Jonathan Gallagher, for being a 42-month member. Hashtag 42 legend. Ten Hag's like a politician. A bullshitter. Well, you certainly got away with words there, Jonathan. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, a gash politician at that, I would say. But, I mean, let's just get into some of the stuff that he said after the game. Like you say, coming out with all sorts. So he said that in regards to his communication with the hierarchy, he said that I speak continually with them. Every day after the game, I have to do my job, speak with the players, answer questions from you, external noise, internal, we are disappointed. We know we have to do better. We need to score more. But he also was sort of partially positive. I mean, you saw him at the end of the game, guys. What's become of Manchester United? Especially right now with the start of the season we've had, celebrating draws at Villa. Come on, what a shit show. That's sort of the standards we're at the moment. And Erik Ten Hag, smiling, big smile on his face, seemed pretty content with the result. Not a bad result on his day, as I say, in normal circumstances. But we're not in normal circumstances, so piss poor it was. But there you go, Erik Ten Hag, he, I think, feels pretty okay with that particular result, and we would do if it wasn't for the rest of the situation with the Premier League season so far. But after the game, he said it's the 4th clean sheet this season. You can see we had very good organisation and togetherness. There was good character and good spirit as a team, determined, resilient. I think Jonathan Gallagher's absolutely right. He's very much a political melt, this guy, isn't he? He is. Okay, yeah, he's actually right in some ways. I mean, if you look at how defensively we played, we were much better defensively. Guess who was our best player in the game? 36-year-old Jonathan Evans, mate. The man who's just a couple of years away from getting a bloody bus pass. He's almost a senior citizen, this guy. And he's the guy that gets the man of the match. Fair play to Johnny Evans, though, by the way, guys. Fair play. I'm not hating on Johnny Evans. Absolute beast. What a player. What a still. Very good. But goodness me, what sort of state of affairs is this current situation when we are having Johnny Evans as our best player in any game of football? At this stage is crazy. And if you look at the amount of people we had on the bench, the talents, the price tags of the players that we've had on the bench, I don't understand it. Ten Hag named nearly £400 million worth of players on the bench for Manchester United's 0-0 draw with Aston Villa. Laurie Whitwell says that the selection undermines MUFC's recruitment policy and creates a sense of flux rather than progress. What's that all about, guys? I don't understand what the selection was all about either. Coming in there raw with Maguire and Johnny Evans is just absolute, just crazy stuff, isn't it? After we spent all this money, and it's like, okay, I think he said something along the lines of, we don't want to overdo anyone where we have to rotate. We've got lots of games coming up and we have to rotate. It's the fucking international break, you absolute Kojak melt. It's the international break, guys. So, I don't really understand that. So he essentially went into that game against a good team, Aston Villa, away from home, with, our second choice sort of defensive players there. We could have obviously gone with the likes of De Ligt, who's our new big signing, obviously. There was no Ugarte in the lineup. It was very strange selection from a man fighting for his job, is all I'm saying. In the end, they defended really well, and they were organised, and they did get a clean sheet. So you can't really fault the team that he did put out there defensively, and Johnny Evans got that man of the match. So maybe it's genius management from Erik Ten Hag, maybe it is. Or maybe it's not. What happened to the days of having a solid centre-back pairing who were playing the majority of the games? There's always been a need to rotate, but there used to be more of a cemented partnership in most football teams, particularly with the centre-backs. You think of people like Rio and Vidic establishing that centre-back partnership, and yes, there were people that came in and played when they were either not 100% or just to rotate, give a player a rest, John O'Shea, Wes Brown, whoever. But there's nothing wrong with having a centre-back pairing that's playing together most weeks. Where did Manchester United start just rotating centre-backs every single week? Maybe I understand wide players or certain players if they're really, really fatigued or whatever, but centre-backs should be the type of players that can play the majority of the games throughout the season. So let's fucking stick with a good pair. That's what I say. I don't really feel the need to rotate our centre-backs the way which we are doing. So, as far as I'm concerned, Erik Ten Hag is just making fundamental errors and doing some silly things. Was a decent result, was a clean sheet. But who's to say if he didn't select a stronger team on paper, with the £400 million worth of players we've got on the bench, for instance, or some of the new signings that he's brought in, then who's to say that we wouldn't have got a better result? If we got more firepower, i.e. our best players on the bench, shouldn't they be on the pitch? So I don't really understand what he's actually doing. From my point of view, with his big smile at the end of the game and his team selection, he's like, sack me! Oh, yeah, sack me, United board! Please, put me in that Burlak sack and give me the sack, my friends. That's kind of what he's doing. I think he's just looking for that £17 million payoff. But I could be wrong. But a very strange selection from the lad. When you spunked all that money, you don't want to play these players you bought in. What's that all about? Paul, thank you for being a member. 4 members over here, Paul, lad. #4. He says, Erik Ten Hag out. He's using his highlighted member comment very well there. Paul, thanks for getting in there, dude. You legend. Long time hero. And yeah, I'm with you as well. I have been for a long time. I can't really say anything other than that. That makes the most sense right now, is to try and get somebody else in to try and stem the bleeding. Nobody wants to have to reset and rebuild all over again after spending all that money on Erik Ten Hag, but I think we have to, otherwise we're just going to keep nosediving. We're 14th. We've had the worst start to a Premier League season ever, guys. It's pathetic. Sully Griffin, thanks for your comment here as well. He's been a member for 12 months, lad. Hashtag 12, get in there, you legend. The team selection looks like he wants to get the sack. Yeah, and get his 17 million. He's won 2 trophies, and that's enough to get him another gig. Yet you can't take away his trophies. He's won some trophies. Respect to the trophies. He's done well getting those trophies. But the larger picture is smeared with shite. You know, the Premier League, the Champions League last season was an absolute joke. This start to this season's abysmal. The European record over the last 11 games, pathetic. 1 win in 11. The guy's absolutely stinking up the gaff. So I agree. It does look like that in a way, though, that he's trying to maybe manoeuvre himself out the job. That's kind of what it looks like to me. By the way, shout out to Urbano Valdez. Thank you, muchos gracias, amigo, for getting in here raw with a 19.99 super chat. Thank you so much. He says, I'm stuck at work, but I'm going to drop by and leave a like for the one true Don. Shout out to the Bacon Brigade, mate. Thank you so much, guys. Can we get some raw love in there? Let's get some raw love in there for Urbano. Thank you so much for your generosity there, dude. Have a great day at work. That's gash that you're stuck at work, but hopefully it's going to be a good one and you can have a nice relaxation afterwards, mate. Yeah, kind of like us United fans. Once this Dutch Kojak's gone, you know, maybe then we can start to relax and enjoy our football again. Because I don't think there's many Man United fans right now tuning in week to week or attending the stadiums that are truly enjoying Man United's style of football right now. Can't imagine there's any. Big up to yourself, Urbano. Thank you very much for that, lad. Do you reckon he'll sabotage until Christmas? Stay Clint, long-time legend of the channel, thanks for getting in. But I don't agree, because I just think it would be absolute madness for the board to stick with him with the sort of start to the season we've had. He might last a little bit longer, you know. But Christmas? That's crazy, mate. That's a good couple of months away from now still. I don't see him hanging in there for a couple of months just because he's not able to actually manage the team to any sort of glorious victories, really, it seems. That's the problem. Thomas Sandfield, thanks for getting in with your super chat as well, boss. He says he's going for the 17 million so he can join Ajax and buy Anthony back with a 17 million pound price tag. It's so true, mate. Like, that's it. I mean, that's probably what you'd be able to get for Anthony Dos Santos these days. That's it. He's done the right number on us. I did get the feeling maybe it was some sort of a mole sent over by the Ajax team there to do such things. Add yourself on Football Manager, you know, as your rival and go and buy all your shittest players for the most amount of money you can. Do you know what I mean? A little bit of Football Manager cheating in life. You know what I'm saying? I doubt it, guys. Obviously not. Obviously not. But anyway, Thomas, thank you very much for getting in there. I agree. It's crazy money, lad. It's just crazy money that's been spent by Erik Ten Hag, and he's going to get a big payoff as well when he does get sacked. More fool us for extending his contract in the summer after the back of a pretty poor season, really, apart from the cup win. Let's look at this then. So, you know, as I say, he had £400 million worth of players on the bench. Ten Hag's actually gone on holiday, guys. Yeah, Ten Hag's gone on holiday. Have a nice holiday there, Ten Hag. Yeah, please remember to send us a postcard. I wonder where he's gone on holiday, guys. You know, where would be a much less stressful place to go right now on holiday? I don't know. I'm thinking maybe Guantanamo Bay might be a good destination for him this time. I don't know. Where are you saying, guys? Don't know. The Gaza Strip? Don't know. But either way, Erik Ten Hag's gone on holiday. And the reports are, well, I don't really know. I don't really think it means anything, guys. Some people are suggesting that this means that he's staying because he's gone on a short holiday over the international break. I don't really share that opinion. You know, it's like, well, he could still get sacked off if he's on holiday. You know, if he's just sat on a deck chair on a beach somewhere, whatnot, and he gets a phone call, you're sacked. Well, you know, then he can just enjoy his pina colada, can't he? I'm pretty sure he's happy about that anyway. It's going to be, he's going to be made either way. It's a huge amount of money that he's going to get paid off. I'm sure he wanted to be a success at United, but let's face it, he sorted him and himself and his family out for a long time with the amount of money that he's managed to actually get out of Manchester United. The job that he's done is debatably decent, but it's also debatably bang average and gash. So, good luck to him. He seems like a nice guy. He's done well financially out of this football club. It's not like he's going to resign and walk away and leave that sort of golden handshake. If he did, then I would say fair play to Erik Ten Hag. Good on you, mate. You've done the right thing. You've done the right thing. You've admitted that you're gash for the job and you're not going to siphon 17 million quid out of the football club. But he's not going to do that. He's got a contract, and if we want to get him out of that contract and terminate it, then we have to pay him off the remainder of the contract, essentially. So, yeah, he's going to do that. There you go, exactly, fire up. He's on holiday with his 17 million quid, basically, just absolutely loving life. There you go, guys. Don't feel sorry for Erik Ten Hag if he gets sacked, by the way. He's had a lot more time than a lot of Manchester United managers have had. A lot more time and patience as well from the hierarchy and the fan base involved, really. Ole Gunnar didn't really get given the same privileges towards the end there. You know, Ole Gunnar was getting us into European finals and just losing out, just missing out on pens, and then only had a couple of months of the new season and got sacked off. So, you know, he's already doing okay in regards to the amount of time and resources he's had at his disposal to do the job. So I wouldn't really feel too sorry for him. Plus, he gets a big payoff, and him and his family are absolutely sorted. It's a shame that there's not a true, clear candidate to just step in, though. That's the big problem for United, is that we have to now decide if he does get sacked, who is going to come in. Luan says, why is it the right thing, Piggy? Luan says, why is it the right thing? Hi, Luan. Why is what the right thing? Sorry, I've totally lost my train of thought. Was I talking about a different topic? I don't know. Why is it the right thing, Piggy? Are we talking about sacking Erik Ten Hag? So why I think the right thing to sack Erik Ten Hag, if that's what you're talking about anyway, is because, well, he's done a really shit job. And he's just not making the right choices in terms of his team selections, substitutions, tactics are gash, styles gash, results are gash. And we're 14th in the league, and we have only won one in the last 11 in Europe. So that's really where I'm at with him. That's the reason I think that he is not the man for the job and that we should probably get somebody else in. But him going on holiday, just, I guess it could add a bit more fuel to the fire in regards to what's happening with him. Some people suggest that maybe because of that, that means that he's staying. He wouldn't be going on holiday if he was thinking about getting sacked. But then it doesn't really mean a damn thing, to be perfectly honest, if you ask me. He's expected to be in charge. So James Ducker of The Telegraph reports that Erik Ten Hag's gone on a short holiday because he believes his job at Manchester United is safe. He expects to be in charge when Manchester United play Brentford after the international break. I've got to be honest, if we do stick with Erik Ten Hag over the international break and he takes that Brentford job, I have to seriously question the hierarchy at Manchester United and if they really, really know what's best for this club. Because as much as I want to try and give somebody a chance and to not have to rebuild again with another manager and start all over again, which is horrible, to be fair, it's like, well, I believe he's just not really going to do well for us, ever. He's actually taking us backwards. I mean, if we're not careful, we'll be in some sort of bloody relegation battle. The belief within the team isn't there. The tactics within the team isn't there. And the standards within the team isn't there. You know, you've got our best player, Bruno Fernandes, playing like absolute horse's arse right now. You've got real problems. You've got players getting selected when they're crap and consistently not really worthy of being selected. And then you've got players being dropped when they're playing well. I mean, Amad Diallo has sort of fallen by the wayside again a little bit. Now I think he's been one of our better performers. It's kind of strange. I don't understand what he's doing, is what I'm saying. It's just he just needs to go. He just needs to go. And if the hierarchy stick with him, it really does confuse me as to what they're trying to do at this football club, because I think we've just got to stem the bleeding now and get him gone. Exactly. Andrew Gonsalves, I agree. 14 in the league is horrible. I think a mix of old and young players are good. We have too many young players. Yeah, you do need a good mixture, don't you? Yeah. Luan says you said he should do the right thing and walk away. It may be the right thing financially for United, but from his perspective, it's not. No, that's exactly what I said. He's going to sort his family out. He's going to sort himself out for years due to the financial golden egg that is this Man United payoff. But the right thing would be to just walk away, because he's been given shitloads of money already, and he's failed miserably, and now he's going to take 17 million out of the club just to end his contract early. Look, all the power is with these footballers and the managers and these contracts, to be fair. You don't get that ordinarily in any other sort of employment. You don't go into a job working in an office and sign a 4-year deal, and if you're shit at your job after 6 weeks, you get paid off for the remaining 4 years. Goodness me, could you imagine? Could you imagine that, guys? I mean, when you actually think about it, it's crazy, isn't it? Like, imagine getting a job working in BP petrol station. Okay, you're working in BP petrol station and you're having a shitter, guys. People are coming in and they're buying their fuel, and you're accidentally giving too little change, and you're just getting everything wrong, and you can't serve the customers quickly enough, and there's queues out the fucking door. There's queues out the door. So they have to call you in for a manager's meeting. You get told that you're being let go because you're shit at your job. You're failing. You're not managing to squeeze the Whisper Gold bars through the fucking night hatch without fucking breaking them. You're having a mare. You're having a mare, Susan. Right? You're sacked. But don't worry, before you signed, just a short while ago, you signed a contract for 5 years, Susan. So we have to pay you £26,000 a year for the next 5 years, which means that to let you go now, Susan, we have to pay you £126,000 right now, and then you're free. Then you can go and sign for Shell Garage. Could you fucking imagine that? I mean, that's why I say it's the right thing for Erik Ten Hag to walk away, because it's just, they're so privileged, these guys. They actually come in and sign a big contract and they can do shite at their job, and then they can still get the massive payday for the remainder of their deal. Fuck that noise, you know? I find it ridiculous, but you know, I wish it was like that in other jobs. I really wish it was like that in other jobs. It would be fantastic. I'd just be going into these new jobs like, I'm Billy Big Bollocks in the interview. As soon as I'm past my probation period, I'm just having 16 poos a day. You know what I mean? I'm just, sorry guys, got bad guys. I'll be back in 20 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, it's insane. Zayn Miassi, thank you very much for getting in here with your super chat. He says, Erik Ten Hag out, Duke of Rodtown in. Duke of Rodtown in, that would be interesting, wouldn't it? Hey, Duke, do you think you could do a better job than Erik Ten Hag? I think that he could. Yeah, thank you, Sharif. Much love, same to you as well. By the way, guys, if you just get in, and I can see we've just hit 150 likes. First of all, thank you everyone for hitting that number. Secondly, smash it if you haven't done so and help us get to 200 likes. Nice one. Also, hit the subscribe button if you're new. We're nearly at 85,200 subscribers. Get yourself subscribed if you're new and have your say. Right, let's cover the rest of what's going on then. So today there's been meetings. There's been all sorts of meetings going on today, apparently, with people like Sir Jim, Sir Alex, the Glazer shithouses, etc. And there's expected to be another big meeting tomorrow in London involving various executives at Manchester United to sort of decide the situation at the football club. So here's a report that says there's a huge 48 hours ahead for Erik Ten Hag. Ineos are meeting today in Manchester, and with the Glazers in London on Tuesday. A decision on Erik Ten Hag's future at Manchester United is expected by Tuesday evening, so tomorrow night. If he's out, who would you want to take? Oh, that's what they've asked anyway. But so we're having a meeting tomorrow. Reports this is from Luckhurst that Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Joel Glazer are at Old Trafford for a long scheduled visit. This was today, for various meetings ahead of a monthly executive committee in London tomorrow. So executive committee in London tomorrow. Glazer shithouse meetings with the likes of Sir Jim and Sir Alex Pitchard leaving, etc. earlier on. Obviously, there's crisis talks taking place because this is an unacceptable situation that Manchester United find ourselves in. And it's quite impressive to be able to spend all the money that we spent and make ourselves, if anything, worse. So they must be spitting feathers. I'd be spitting freaking feathers if I was them. After backing Ten Hag in the summer, giving him a new deal, and then him having such a poor start to the season after you've given him all that money to spend. I'd be absolutely furious and I'd be ready to sack him off. So we'll see what they do tomorrow. It looks like tomorrow could be the day that decides the outcome of Erik Ten Hag. In my opinion, the writing's on the wall for him. He should already be let go, but he's still here. He's gone on holiday. Maybe he thinks that his job's safe. Apparently he does think his job's safe. But I find that insane. How could you think your job is safe when you're 14th and performing such a gas job as United manager with such big resources? Crawl, hashtag 23. Thanks for getting your highlighted member comment in here. Crawl, lad. Hashtag 23, mate. Nearly 2 years. Let's go, my son. Thanks for supporting the show. MUFC with a super chat as well. Thank you. Says, why does Ten Hag keep saying stick to the plan? That's it. He just says stick to the plan on. Oh, another thing that he said, right, guys. He said this. He said, one day it will click. The team shows great character. One day it will click. The signs are there, right? That's what he said. He said, one day it will click. I mean, even a fucking broken clock is right twice a day. You know what I mean? So sometimes it will click. Yeah, you get a set of shite players on the pitch. Sometimes they turn up. We managed to do it against Liverpool in the quarter-final of the FA Cup last season and the final against City. But did we truly turn up against Coventry in the semi-finals? We literally got through to that final by the skin of our paw back. So there's too many games like that. There's too many piss poor performances. There's a few good ones here and there, sure. We managed to smash up Barnsley 7-0. Nice. But what about when you play the next game against Palace or melt against Liverpool 3-0 or get done up by, whoever? There's loads of examples. Brighton, well, not Brighton actually this season, but, we've drawn too many games this season, the likes of in the Europa League 20 and Porto and we're just really, really bang average at the moment. Thank you, MUFC. Keeps saying stick to the plan. I wonder what the plan is. I think the plan is to get a golden handshake and piss off back to the Netherlands with £17 million swag in the bag. Zamy asks with another super chat, says, which is more scary, Wolf from American Wolf in London? Which more scary Wolf from American Wolf in London? I'm going to say the one with the biggest teeth, mate. I'm also going to say I don't care, because I'm doing a Manchester United latest news stream, and I'm not talking about films from fucking 40 years ago in the horror genre right now. How's that? The sad thing is that we all know that they have Southgate lined up for the job, right? Don't even get me started on that, Mephisto, please. That would just be from bad to worse, if you ask me, yeah. Right, let's talk about some of the other sort of links. I mean, Wayne Rooney on Erik Ten Hag, he said he's won trophies wherever he's been and won trophies at Man United as well. So, yes, he's going through a tough, difficult period, and I think he'll probably say that himself. But you hope he can turn it around, because too often managers lose their jobs, and then it's another rebuild with a different manager. Well, yeah, that's kind of the point, though. We do need another rebuild with a different manager, or at least somebody else to come in and change the way we're playing with the current set of players that we've got. I know what he's saying, because it's like we've already invested all this time and energy and money and allowed Erik Ten Hag to shape the squad in that sort of vision. Like, it's a Ten Hag team. And now we're going to just get rid of him, and then somebody else has got to take that team over, which they're not going to necessarily want the same sorts of players. They might not necessarily rate the same sorts of players. Will they really be coming in and looking at Anthony Dos Gastos and saying, that's an £85 million winger right there? Oh, yes, I want him in my team. I don't think they will. I think they'll be looking at him saying, can we get 10 million for him from Coventry? I don't know. Like, that's the thing. There's got to be managers who come in with a different vision now. So they're not going to share the same vision of Erik Ten Hag, whoever it is. And so therefore we've already done ourselves dirty. We've already invested poorly. We've already invested in the wrong people. And by the wrong people, I don't necessarily mean the players, some of them. I mean, i.e. the manager investing in him and allowing him to have that sort of an impact on who we're bringing in. So, it's horrible, guys. We're in a real shit show of a situation, though. And if we don't actually stop it now with Erik Ten Hag and start with something else, I think it's just going to continue in this vein. Zamiasi, thank you very much for getting another super chat, lad. He says, or dogs from Ghostbusters 1. Are you talking about those gargoyle things, the stone things on the buildings that turn into real animated? Just shut up, Zane. You know what I mean? I love you, Zamiasi. Nice one. I like it when you're coming in here talking about football, drawing football streams. Why the fuck are we talking about Ghostbusters, an American Werewolf in London? Am I missing something here, mate? I'm not Barry Norman, mate. I'm not Jonathan Ross. This isn't the discussion of the film hour, mate. This is something else, okay? Saying, look at the title of the video, mate. We're talking about Erik Ten Hag. We're talking about managerial positions, and we're talking about football, lad. Okay? Stick a movie on, Zamiasi, lad, and chill. All right, boss? Nice one. NSG, not tonight, actually, mate. I was going to, but I'm going to have date night with Mrs. P. This is the only night she's free, basically. So having date night with Mrs. P tonight, and then tomorrow I'll be back on, absolutely, yeah. Nice one. So anyway, Wayne Rooney giving his thoughts. He does not think that Erik Ten Hag should be let go just yet. He thinks that he should be given time to turn it around, or that he could at least turn it around. Yeah, I don't share that same view, but fair enough. I mean, look, he's obviously looking at it from the point of a manager. And from a point of a manager, you want to get as much time as you possibly can. You really want to be given a fair chance at it. But I already feel like Ten Hag's been given that luxury. Yeah, as I say, his signings have been crap. I mean, if we just look at this. So this is from Fabrizio Romano. And I can't really say that I agree with it. This was from Fab. He says, in a negative start of the season, Andre Onana has been one of the best players for Manchester United, as he's completed the most clean sheets in the Premier League with 4 so far. Man United coaching staff very happy with his development in the second season since joining from Inter. I will say that he has been pretty solid this season. He's been better, but one of the best players, I mean, it's not hard to be one of the best players at Manchester United right now. He actually has been pretty good, to be fair to Andre Onana, but he's still got butter fingers, and he still is not exactly, a match winner. Let's be honest, guys. I mean, he has had some really decent performances this season, I suppose, but he's also had some pretty bang average ones. I don't really understand the praise necessarily for Andre Onana right now, because he's not proven himself just yet. It's better, but it's still not great. Is it down to the fact we've got a bit of a gash team, though? Yeah, maybe that doesn't help. So fair play to him, fair play to Andre Onana. But even the reason I'm talking about Andre Onana and this comment here from Fab is that, well, I just think the standards have slipped. Oh, how the mighty have fallen, in regards to this. When Andre Onana is one of our best players on this season's performances. Really? Man, we must be absolutely proper dog turd shite then. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you've got David De Gea over there in Fiorentina doing bits, saving pens for fun, winning matches, beating Milan after 2 penalty saves. Fiorentina manager Palladino and David De Gea saving 2 penalties versus AC Milan. Trust me, he's still a monster. He's a top world-class player. We can see why he's a champion, a real one. We should thank him every day. He's a top goalkeeper and a role model. Yeah, he is. And he should still be here, really. He should still be here, really. Ten Hag's fucked us over big time. We've ended up with Andre Onana, who is decent. He's a good keeper. Don't get me wrong, he is good. But he's not in David De Gea's wheelhouse, guys. He's nowhere near. David De Gea's a way better keeper, even still after a year out. So there you go. I mean, I just think that's one of the decisions that Erik Ten Hag's got wrong, letting him go. I mean, Umar Asim says De Gea over Onana, period. I'm 100% in agreement with you. Just period, mate. De Gea over Onana all day of the week, sir. And he was already here, and he was essentially a lot cheaper because you just needed to give him a new contract as opposed to paying a big transfer fee. And he was still here. So it's a very bizarre decision that from Erik Ten Hag. That's cost us, not necessarily this season so far, but certainly last season it cost us. And that's just one of the many sort of players that we brought in who hasn't really been up to the standards. There's lots of them, to be fair. Anthony Dos Santos, not great. I mean, I worry about some of the new signings that have come in as well, because a lot of them haven't exactly taken to it like a duck to water so far. Ugarte's looked pretty average so far. De Ligt has looked suspect at times. They've also had some good moments, and I'm not even going to judge them yet because it's too early for them, and they're coming into a team that's underperforming and playing like shite with a shite manager. So it can't be easy for these new guys. If we actually had a proper manager with proper tactical nous and abilities, and we could organise them properly and get them playing decent stuff, I feel like these players would be showing their quality. So I think it's a lot down to the situation at United, why these new guys maybe haven't settled in too quickly. But I can't really defend half of Erik Ten Hag's signings. They're all pretty crap, aren't they? How much would you get for Onana? You'd rather have Pope. Well, what did we pay for him? I think we paid about 50 mil. What would we get for him now? Honestly, 35 million. Not a lot less. He's still a very good keeper, and he's only, 27, 28, so he's got a lot to do still left in the game. But no, it's not like his value's gone up, is it? His value's gone down. Just like pretty much most Man United players that we sign for huge money. Their value just ends up being less after a season or two when they've caught the United disease or proven themselves to be shite or proven themselves to not really be able to work in the current system that the manager's trying to play. Oh, yeah, that's true, must play. Not even under Ollie did we struggle against teams like Newport or teams from Cyprus. Yep. Who's worse, Anthony or Mount? I mean, Mount's worse because Mount's always injured as well now. And he costs an insane amount of money. And he's wearing that number 7 shirt, which makes me feel quite sick every time that I see it, that Mason Mount, some ex-Chelsea scummer who's absolutely bang average cash, is actually wearing the same shirt as previous legends that have come before, people like fucking Cantona and shit. It makes me sick. Actually makes me sick. But there you go. Okay. Yes, Sharif. Well, that's quite possible. I think that's one of the likely outcomes. So lots of reports as well about Thomas Tuchel today, that he's, still in the line and still in for consideration for the job. Doesn't really fill me with much confidence. There's a couple of people as well, like, for instance, Inzaghi and Amorim from different leagues, which, could be decent options. There's the ex-United players, people like Carrick. Carrick could be decent. Ruud van Nistelrooy, obviously, yeah. And then there's people like McKenna, who have been coaches at United before, who's doing decent things. And then, so there's a short list of candidates, none of which are fantastic. I'll ask the chat, though, who would you want to see take over from Erik Ten Hag? Indy says Tuchel's not interested. Yeah, so he wasn't in the summer. That's the truth. So, yeah, he wasn't interested then. And because of that, I don't want that guy anyway. I really, really want a manager that wants to take this job on, No more defensive football. Well said. Whoever it is, it has to be a full-on attacking-minded manager, I think. Yeah, Carrick did well for you before he left. Yeah, he had a few games as an interim, sort of just a caretaker in charge for a few games. And he did very well in those few games, and he's doing very well at Middlesbrough as well. He's doing well. Big step up, obviously, to United, but I think I'd rather give it to someone who I like and trust, like Michael Carrick, than just stick with this absolute complete bloody yes-man melt or this complete waffler, Erik Ten Hag. You wouldn't mind Rude, nice one, G2B, yep, fair play. Well, I like Rude as well. Not because of he's got some CV of being a brilliant manager, but just because he's there and he's a ex-United legend and he's got some managerial experience, and I don't think he could do possibly any worse than Erik Ten Hag. So if the right guy's not quite there to take over, he's a good man in the interim. Jens says Ollie. Well, again, Ollie is going to still be linked with us. And he is a good guy with experience as well. The same sort of boxes ticked for what I just said about Ruud van Nistelrooy with his history with the club. So I like him. But again, it's only going to be in an interim capacity because as much as I love Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and I think he did do a decent to good job at United, he's not necessarily the man to kick us on and win those big trophies, I don't think. Yeah, no, that's right too, Mick. Yeah, Piggy, the downside of a new guy coming in is Ten Hag signings will bail too and you end up with Evans and the bandy legs. Yeah, fair enough, Mick. But with half of those signings, maybe it could be a good thing if they did bail, you know? Xavi Alonso, I do rate that, you know. That would be a fantastic addition, actually, Van. But he's an ex-Liverpool scummer. But yeah, I agree, you know, Xavi Alonso, his record so far is very impressive as a young manager. Klopp, yeah, I mean, not going to happen. If we could have a Klopp Mark II, though, I would love it, Pete. Somebody who plays that crash, bang, wallop, heavy metal football is exactly what Man United need right now on the back of this absolute boring guff dross fest that is Erik Ten Hag styly. Harry Potter, Ruud van Nistelrooy, yeah, instead of you, Zidane, Amorim. Zidane would be fantastic, but he doesn't want us, does he? And because of that, screw that guy. The reason I say Zidane would be fantastic because he's such a mercurial guy. He's such a big name. Like, he's just Zidane. He's one of the legends of the game in the history of the entire game of football forever. Like, he's literally one of the greats. And that doesn't make him one of the great managers, but he's already shown that he is a good manager by winning, you know, things like back-to-back Champions Leagues and stuff like that. Like, he did it with the Galacticos, and he's not got the ability to, you know, go to, I don't know, like Cloughie and go to Nottingham Forest and win the fucking European Cup with them. It's different, you know. They're already a Galactico team and he's got great players. But even so, he's still got that elite mindset, that elite level management. He can deal with big egos, big players. And also just think about like the draw that having a manager or something like that would actually have on future signings as well. Like if your manager was Zidane, how appealing would that be to play for if you're a professional footballer? It would be very appealing. Whereas if your manager's old fucking, you know, Conehead Ten Hag, it's not the most appealing to go and play for. So, you know, that's the sort of thing that an appointment like that can do. It just raises the profile of everything that little bit. Southgate, please no. Thank you, Umer Asim, lad. I'd like a crack at it myself, to be fair. I would give it a go, dude. Carrick had more balls than Erik Ten Hag for 2 games at Stamford Bridge and Villarreal. Spot on, must play. 100%. Showed more balls in that time, yeah. Well, it doesn't at the moment, RBSK, because we don't have the right mentality, mindset, or tactical ability to do that. You know, so like, for instance, I will look at, look at a team like Spurs with Postecoglou, right? Now, they got done up at the weekend there. They lost to Brighton. 2-0 up they were, and they fucking melted, right? Now, they go out there and they attack and they try to win games. Now, the weakness in mentality that they showed in that second half was what cost them that game. Bottled it mentally. The actual setup and the intent from Postecoglou, in my opinion, was not the issue, because he's obviously set them up to go out there and attack, and they've been able to do that for 45 minutes. But the next 45 minutes, they truly shat it, right? And the mentality's so weak and poor, and they've just crumbled. But if you actually had a manager who could instill belief, confidence, and had faith in his system and his players to get them playing attacking football, why can't you go out there and beat other teams by playing attacking football? There's many ways to win a game of football. You can be defensive and boring and shite. You can be super attacking and, you know, take lots of risks. There's lots of ways to win games of football. You don't have to play not attacking football. Ancelotti would be amazing, Daz. Pete Morris is Nagelsmann. I think Nagelsmann's quite high up on the list. By the way, thank you, Exclusive, for getting in here and being a member over here for a long time, dude. Nearly 4 years this man's been a member over on this main channel now. 47 months, guys. Big up. It's time to go, Baldy. Get Deitch in for the job. Oh, Sean Deitch coming in, another Baldy. Red Sparrows want Sean Deitch as well, you know. We'll be eating loads of worms for breakfast. I don't know about that, mate. Even David Moyes will be better than Erik Ten Hag. Nice one, Fat Chinese Gaming. Yeah, arguably that's true. FCG, thanks for your highlighted member comment as well. 21 months, yay. Hashtag 21 months for FCG as well. Thank you so much, FCG. So FCG's a Brighton fan. I bet you were loving it. Why is Danny Welbeck amazing? For you guys, what's that all about? Danny Welbeck's the shizness for you there. Fat Chinese Gaming, isn't he? We could do a lot worse ourselves than Danny Welbeck right now, I tell you. We should have never let him go as a squad player. Gungshi, you legend. Let's go, Gungers. 55 months, a member of the Pork Platoon. That is sensational stuff. Thank you very much, Gungshi, for being in here all that time and supporting the channel, you legend. Hashtag 55 as well for this man. Thank you very much, the Don. Very kind of you. How you doing there, Nut, as well? Great to see you, another legend. Must play Gregory Burke. Sorry if I missed any of you legends, but welcome into everyone. Thank you for joining. Let me just cover, what I've sort of discussed a little bit here quickly for anybody who's just getting in the streams, and then we will get into a Q&A and just have a proper Q&A. Also, as I say, you can repost the stream here. At the top of the live chat, there's a link to my x.com, Twitter, whatever you want to say. Follow us at Flying Pig United everywhere. Click that link over there. Give us a repost. I'll shout you out in a bit. I'm just going to run down everything we've discussed, and then, we'll get into the chat. Okay, so, yeah, as I say, Ten Hag feels that his job's kind of safe. He speaks continuing with the hierarchy every day. After the game, I have to do my job, speak with the players, answer the questions from you. External noise, internal, we are disappointed, but we know we have to do better. We need to score more. He also said that his team's showing good character right now. He said that it's the 4th clean sheet this season. You can see we had very good organisation and togetherness. I think we did defend well, and we did do well to defend, and ordinarily a point at Villa Park with how they're playing right now would be a good result. But on the back of everything else, it's not. As I say, we had £400 million worth of players on the bench as well. New signings, lots of new signings. People like Xerxes, Ugarte, De Ligt and these sorts of guys. And we are electing to play the likes of Maguire and Johnny Evans. They did do well, but even that in itself is very head-scratching for me. I don't get it. I just don't understand. And okay, I understand the need to rotate when there's lots of games coming up, but it's the international break. And I don't know if you've noticed, but a lot of our players don't even go to international break anyway. Alejandro Garnacho suddenly got a dodgy knee. Kobe Mainoo's not going to be playing for England due to picking up a knock. It's all just like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Just play the best team. Play the best team. Let's have a proper centre-back pairing. Let's cement a proper centre-back pairing. Fair enough, little cup games against Barnsley or whoever. Play Maguire and Evans. But for the big games in the league, etc., you should be having that solid centre-back pairing that is cemented that you're playing regularly for the top games. So I don't understand the rotation at the back there. Very odd. He's gone on holiday, guys. If you've not seen tonight, reports coming out in various places. Ten Hag is on holiday. By the way, I've missed a super chat there. Thank you so much there to Solly Griffin for the $5, my son. He says, I don't think it's about getting the best manager. It's about finding the correct manager at the correct time, I think. Who that is the big question. Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah. So, well, obviously it would be nice to get the best manager, but the best manager, like you say, the best manager is just not really available right now. The best manager for the job would probably be, somebody like an Ancelotti or something like that, but they're just not available, or an Emery, and he's not available. So you're absolutely right. It's about finding the correct manager at the correct time. Well said, Sully. That's kind of what we're trying to do right now. We do have to get the right guy for the job right now. And the short list for people, well, it's kind of a mixed bag, isn't it? It's kind of a mixed bag. Thank you so much there, Sully, for that, by the way. Much appreciated. Nice one. Oh, thank you, Gungshi. You're just a humble servant of the pig. You're much more than that, my friend. Thank you so much, Don Gungshi, lad. You are the Don Consigliere, lad, of the Bacon Brigade. Nut says, next 4 fixtures in the Premier League, I don't see us getting more than 4 points, not getting points from West Ham or Chelsea. That's it. So why bother with Ten Hag then? Why bother? Might as well sack him now. I just hope that we wake up tomorrow. I don't want to wish ill upon anyone. I won't feel bad for him because he's had lots of time and money and he will get loads more money as well. I don't feel bad for him, but I want him to be sacked, guys. I want us to appoint somebody else. I can see us just nosediving for the rest of the time that he's here. And if they stick with him now, I think it'll be the wrong decision because I think they'll just end up fundamentally having to sack him in 2 months anyway after we really have proven ourselves to be proper shite. Malt Licky Texas, he says, you need to give Erik Ten Hag more time. Why? Why do I? I've given him lots of time. He's had plenty of time, over 2 years, lots of money, lots of ability to shape the squad, and I don't think he does need more time, personally. No, I think we just need somebody else, personally. But, each their own. I understand why you might say that. Nobody wants to see these managers sacked off. Fat Chinese Gaming with a £5 super chat. Thank you. He says 4 clean sheets, including teams like Crystal Palace, Fulham and Barnsley. That explains everything. A fair play, FCG. Well, it's actually Premier. Yeah, well, I think it's 4 Premier League clean sheets, but even so, I don't care about the clean sheets. I'd rather have absolutely horrible, dirty sheets, yet manage to get my jollies off with a win. You know what I mean? Rather than bloody clean sheets. Who wants clean sheets if you're in 14th place? You know, I don't know about you, but when I come home after a night out, if I wake up in the morning and the sheets are dirty, that's a good thing. You know what I mean? I don't want clean sheets in the morning, guys. What's that all about? So, no, I'm joking, obviously. Look, clean sheets in football are great, but the reality is it's not the most important thing. I'd rather concede 5 goals every single game as long as we scored 6, you know? I really would. I would 100%. So I'm not really that bothered about clean sheets. I'm more bothered about wins, performances, attacking intent, and bollocks. That's what I'm more interested in. Okay, so let's just cover this as well. So he's expecting to be in charge, so that's why he's gone on a holiday. Apparently, this is via James Ducker, who says that he's expecting to be in charge. So he's gone on a short holiday because he believes his job at United is safe. He expects to be in charge when Man United play Brentford after the international break. I don't know how he can expect that, but apparently it's true. There's a meeting taking place tomorrow after a meeting that happened today. Lots of executives are going to be obviously meeting in London on Tuesday, apparently. And there was obviously the Glazers shithouses involved, going to be the Glazers shithouses involved. But also, you know, apparently people like Sir Jim and Glazers meeting earlier on. Sir Alex Ferguson was there. So they're obviously having talks and crisis talks at the moment to try and figure this mess out. I wonder what the conclusion is going to be that they reach. I personally think they can't really stick with him because, well, the damage is just too much at the moment and the pain is too raw. And, you know, to try and get everybody kicked up the arse effectively, I think we do need a pretty big change. Right, that's basically it, guys. Anyway, so yes, we're expecting meetings tomorrow. There's an understanding that, well, he could be sacked off tomorrow night. Very good chance after this meeting that there's a decision made. So this is via 90 Mins that just says that Ineos are meeting today in Manchester and with the Glazers in London on Tuesday. A decision on Erik Ten Hag's future at Manchester United is expected by Tuesday evening. So maybe we'll know more tomorrow. Perhaps they'll keep it quiet, but in my opinion, probably will know more tomorrow. They either, I don't know, put out some sort of a statement maybe saying that they're backing him and giving him the time that he needs to turn it around, or they'll just sack him off and there will be an announcement that, well, he has been let go. I'm not really too sure. Nobody knows. Nobody knows, guys. Let's ask the chat what you guys think. Yes or no, will Ten Hag be sacked tomorrow? Have your say. I actually, I'm kind of 50-50, but I would say probably no, actually. Probably no. I don't know. I don't think they want to pay the 17 million right now. Maybe they'd still rather flip the coin another try and hope that he turns it around. Oh, yes, Sly. I haven't watched that yet, actually, Sly lad, but I need to catch up on that. Nice one, Sly. Thank you very much for the super chat. Says Rio had a good interview with Phil Jones today. Nice one. Phil Jones, the international gurning champion. That's awesome, mate. I'd definitely be watching that one, lad. Find out his gurning techniques, you know what I mean? That'd be a good one. Manlicky Texas, Maltlicky Texas, sorry, not Manlicky. Oh, no. Maltlicky Texas says, Piggy, Arsenal fans were asking for Arteta to go. Yeah, they were, but you have to, see, this is something you have to understand about Arsenal fans, though. They're absolute complete buddy mugs. That's what you have to understand. I think you have to understand that. The Arsenal fans are absolute tits. So, I'm just joking, guys. I'm joking, sort of. But, no, we okay, there's a lot of the United fan base that are impatient, and I think that some people could do with being more patient. But I think the majority of us are actually quite patient and are willing to give managers time and money and the opportunities to prove themselves. And we don't want to just get rid of people in 8 months like we did with David Moyes. We want to give people a few seasons, a couple of seasons, but you want to get some return on your investment. You want to get some return on your faith and your belief. You've put the belief and the faith in this guy, Ten Hag, to do his job and give him loads of money and turn it around. And he's not repaid that faith. So that's why I'm saying now's the time. It's just too much. I mean, okay, Arteta, I think there was still signs of slow, gradual improvement with Arteta, even when they still bottled it here and there and, slipped up in the last and had the worst finish to a Premier League season after looking like maybe they could win it, and all the rest of there's been a slow progression, a slow, constant progression with Arsenal, with Arteta there. Very slow, but a slow, constant progression all the way to the point now where they actually look like a real team, don't they? So I don't think we can compare ourselves with that because I don't see any progression. We've digressed. We've gone backwards the last 18 months. So I don't really see the same trajectory there with this football club. If it was slow progress, if we were slowly picking up more points, slowly scoring more goals, slowly conceding less goals, slowly looking better in terms of our style, game to game, week to week, month to month, season to season, I'd be on board and say that we should be sticking with Ten Hag. But that's not been the case, my friend. That's not been the case. Yeah. There is no FIFA tonight. Sorry for anybody looking for FIFA. I was going to do FIFA tonight, but me and Mrs. P are having date night. It's the only night she's off, so we're going to hang out. And tomorrow night I'll be on FIFA tonight there, right? And yeah, tomorrow night I'll be on, lad. It all went to shit when Greenwood incident happened, I reckon. Well, that definitely did not help, no. And it sort of hurt him to lose such a really good player, good versatile player for him. And it obviously caused a lot of problems within maybe the spirit of the dressing room, that kind of thing as well. So that's fair. G2B says 7 Hag must go. Have we got more time with Pig, or is he bouncing for the girldom instead of the ads? I'll be here for a good little while. Don't worry, you still got me, guys. I'm going to be in for 10-15 minutes. So have your say, get your thoughts in. We're going to get into the Q&A now, everybody. So stick around, have your say. We're just going to get deep into the Q&A now. Everyone hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. I'm just going to go over to Twitter real quick and shout out everyone there at the top of the chat who's given us a repost on this stream. Thank you so much. It does help us out to these legends. Aaron Homeyard, the Butcher of Manchester, John Boy Cat, Tropical Palm Tree, and Kieran. Mrs. P? Mrs. P? Mrs. P? Nicola? Nicola? Sorry, guys. Sorry, right, let's get into the live chat now. Thank you to Aaron Homeyard, Butcher of Manchester, John Boy, Tropical Palm Tree, and Kieran there for getting in there raw. Nice one. Nicola! Sorry, guys, I'm parched here. My mouth's gone dry. I don't have any drink. I wanted to get me a drink without having to interrupt the stream here, but I might have to just... Anyway. Sorry, guys. Oh, that would be nice, Hansi. I'd like to give him a piece of my mind, sir. Dansky, hello to you, Dansky. Simon says, how's the Slabs injury? Yeah, I don't know a great deal on that today, actually. Bit of a shame, though, wasn't it, to see Slabby Maguire coming off like that. Fair play to Slabby Maguire. I don't rate him that much, but I really respect him. I respect his mentality. I respect his effort levels and everything. Would I take Thomas Frank? I mean, yes, I would over Erik Ten Hag. I genuinely would. I mean, look, he's got his side playing much better attacking football than us, and he's got a lesser budget, lesser team. Literally, they play at a leisure centre. It's a harder job for him to do, to get them to play decent sort of stuff in the Premier League. Last season, they did not do great, though. Where did they finish? Like 16th? I actually picked them to have a very tricky season this season during my start to the Premier League video. But they're obviously doing all right. I think they win the last game. Was it 5-1 or whatever it was? They scored a lot of goals. They play attacking stuff. Maybe with bigger resources, better players. That's the sort of manager that could kick on and go up in terms of the ranks of the game. I think he probably could do good. I'd have him instead of Erik Ten Hag. But I'd pretty much have anybody instead of Erik Ten Hag, I would have Doris the Tea Lady instead of Erik Ten Hag. I would have Thomas Tuchel instead of Erik Ten Hag. I don't even like Thomas Tuchel. I would have Ruud van Nistelrooy instead of Erik Ten Hag, and he's got very little experience in management just over at PSG. I'd have Ole Gunnar Solskjaer back. I've had Michael Carrick from over at Middlesbrough. I'd give it Kieran McKenna. I honestly would give it to any of those guys over sticking with Erik Ten Hag because I've seen what he can do. Do I think Ruud would be better than Moyes? It's arguable. I mean, for Manchester United, perhaps, yeah. For Man United, perhaps, because he's got that history and maybe he could just learn from the mistakes that he's seen Erik Ten Hag make and do the exact opposite. And maybe he'd be all right. I mean, David Moyes is a very good manager, though. He's just not really a top-tier manager, I don't think. He's still done bits like winning the Conference League with West Ham or whatever, and Very good coach. Nothing wrong with David Moyes. Only got 8 months himself at Man United. Some may say way too soon that he was sacked off, and I probably, in hindsight, after seeing how much time and money Ten Hag's been given, I would say that's true. He definitely was sacked off soon. So, I don't know really about David Moyes. David Moyes isn't even in the argument. It's very unlikely. We're not going to appoint David Moyes. So I don't think there's any really much point talking about David Moyes. But he is a good coach. Yeah, yeah. Views from the bits getting in here raw, or hail the Bacon Brigade. Where do you see Erik Ten Hag will go next? Okay, I think he will end up being the next manager of Heerenveen. Heerenveen? I think they are a Division 2 Dutch team. I don't know. No, I honestly think he's going back to I think he's going back to Ajax, guys. Yeah. Back to Ajax at some point. I don't see him getting a big job. I don't think he's going to get one of the top clubs coming in for him. But I certainly think that a club like Ajax, who are a very big club actually, but it's all Dutch friends club that he's already been at, I think that's the perfect fit for him. And so he'll probably go back there. Go back there with a massively fat bank account. And also Ajax will have a fat bank account from us buying all their shit players as well. You know what I mean? So it's a good situation for him to go into there. Yeah, well, yeah, but in all fairness, Jonathan Gallagher, right? Okay, people say, oh, David Moyes had an absolute shitter by taking over from Fergie, who won the league, and then melting like the way he did. But actually, I don't really share that view, because I think Fergie was just an unbelievable genius to actually win the league with that team. In my opinion, that last team that won the Premier League, not even a really great team, really. There were some good players in there, but if you actually look at the squad, it's quite, it just goes to speak for the levels that Ferguson reached in terms of his man management, his ability to squeeze the most out of teams. When you consider that team that was left for Moyes, I don't think it was a good team that was left for Moyes. Mrs. P, yeah. Can I have a glass of water, please, darling? Yeah. Sorry, I'm parched here, Mrs. And I didn't bring my drink in with me, did I? So yeah. Ollie in, I like that, yeah, I'd rather that. Maybe Erik Ten Hag will be heading to Saudi Pro League, maybe, yeah, maybe. City after Pep. Ooh. Yeah, nice one, Daz, but they'll be managing in League 2 at the time, won't he? Erik Ten Hag's the go. Oh, yeah, so Sid Rose says there was a fan who said Sir Alex Ferguson was going to get the sack. They stuck with him, and because a great manager, he said, stick with Ten Hag, he could turn it around. Well, that's fair, Sid, I get that, right? But different circumstances entirely. Mourinho's Fenerbahce will beat United. That's another worrying game, isn't it? Yeah. The coach from Atletico. Oh, thank you very much, Mrs. P. Get in there. You want to say hi to the live chat real quick?
Hi, everyone. Hope you're all good. And have had a nice day, lovelies.
That's good stuff. Right, thanks for that, Mrs. P. No, there's not Kamani Sims, mate. We'll be back on tomorrow, though. My bad. We'll be back on tomorrow, dude. 5 more years of Erik Ten Hag. Yeah, that's what all the scummers want. Gung, she says hi. Duke says hi. Everyone says hi. Stephen, Gucci, everyone says hi. Nice one, guys. So I wonder what's going to happen in this meeting tomorrow. I sort of expect that they'll come to the conclusion that they should probably make the change and sack him, and maybe tomorrow night we will see the news. But then if we don't see the news tomorrow night, then he's staying, isn't he? He will be here after the international break. I mean, there's an understanding that they won't be rushing into anything. They won't be making any rash decisions. So maybe it wouldn't be necessarily tomorrow night, and it could happen in a couple of days' time. But I think, personally, if they're not going to do it tomorrow, then he will be staying. Thank you, Stephen Monroe. Appreciate that, lad. I am doing a watch-along for the England game, Simon Warner. Yes, mate. Thursday night, that is, yeah? Is there one before then, actually? Is the first one Thursday night? I think it's just Thursday night, isn't it, the first one? Michelle Ellis getting in there raw as well, legend. Ten Hag out, please. I'm with you there, Boxing Talk, lad. Studio says, I think the next 6 games should be the games Erik Ten Hag be judged on. Really, though, fair enough. But what about the last 6 games? What about the last 50 games? Isn't that like a bigger cross-section of games to judge somebody on than just the next 6? I know what you're saying, like, fair enough, but, I would be up for that if I actually had any faith in him that he would do all right in those 6 games. Double says, Aston fans, stick with him. Oh, why isn't anyone talking about Tony Pulis? Goodness me. Is that a serious question, or... there's levels to this game, mate. There's levels to this game. A lot of match-going Reds on Twitter saying he's gone. Well, I think he probably is close, yeah. They're obviously probably going to reach the announcement tomorrow if they do. Thursday night, first game. Okay, nice one, Simon. Yes, mate, I will be on for that watch-along 100%, lad. It's next week. We're not playing. I think he was talking about the England game. Yeah, obviously we're playing Brentford, aren't we, after the international break in like a good couple of weeks' time. But there is a game for England coming up soon. Unfortunately, no Kobbie Mainoo in it because Kobbie Mainoo has been, of course, injured. Same goes for Garnacho. He's not going to be playing for Argentina either over the international break because he's picked up a knee injury, you know. But there's still a massive need to rotate all of our players out of the team. Damn it, international break again. I know, it's so annoying, isn't it, man? My prediction for England versus Greece, Stephen. I do think we'll beat them. Yeah, I don't think this is a great Greece team right now. And obviously, Kazi's just the interim at England, but he's got a great set of players there. I think we'll comfortably win. I'm going to go 3-0. I'll say 3-0 in that one. I think we will batter them, to be fair. Don't forget, Piggy, that 3 of our 4 starters on the back line left United immediately once Fergie retired. No, that's true. Yeah, you're absolutely right. So we had a change in personnel, a little change in personnel, because we'd lost like those big named, like Rio left, didn't he? Vidic left as well, didn't he? And there was a few big players. Giggs left then as well, didn't he? I think so. There was a few big players that left at that time. That's true, but they were all sort of the older players, you know. Like there was still a decent squad there, but I don't think it's fair to actually judge Moyes on that 8 months that he was there, because it was always tough taking over from Fergie. He did lose a few players, and he actually only signed a couple of players. Like we brought in Marouane Fellaini and then Juan Mata in January. It's not like he had 600 million to spend. Imagine what he could have done if he'd had this sort of money to spend that Erik Ten Hag spent. Yeah, fair enough, SK. Did he sort Bayern Munich out, SK lad? You know what I mean? Fair enough, though. He's all right. Yeah, I'd rather him, somebody who's actually proven to win a Champions League trophy, rather somebody like him. Thomas Frank in. It would be the same laugh if Southgate got the job. Oh, man. Thomas Tuchel's the favourite to replace Erik Ten Hag. Tuchel's open to become a Man United manager and is ready. Interesting. Why wasn't he open to taking the job in the summer then, boss? Dad says, is Maguire allowed back in Greece? He's going to have the Polizia waiting for him when he gets there, lad. Thank you, DJ. Wow, he says, you're my favourite YouTuber, and as a Liverpool fan, the pantomime going on at United's hilarious. Yeah, well, yam it up, my friend. Enjoy it while you can. I don't think it's going to last too long, because look, we are a great club, and we've got some obviously some improvement and some progress to do. But I think once we've got somebody in charge who's got the right sort of mindset for the managerial job, you know, we'll be back, mate. We'll be back. You guys obviously sitting top of the table at the moment. It's sickening. Absolutely sickening. You watched the last Greece game, you got chills. They're multiplying. Well, that's quite appropriate, because Erik Ten Hag's losing control, mate. You know what I mean? Go stop trolling. Yeah, exactly. I wonder who's going to replace Slabby for the England game. Yeah, good question. Maybe it'd be something like, Gahey, Conser or something like that, maybe. Phil, of course, says, big up Piggy. Is Erik Ten Hag getting sacked, in your opinion? In my opinion, yes, Phil. Maguire, player manager. In my opinion, yes, but who knows what they decide to do. They'll probably reach a conclusion by tomorrow. David Moyes got rid of the successful staff under Sir Alex. Yeah, that was stupid, wasn't it? Yeah, that was silly, lad. Not yet, Semix. Not yet, bro. David Moyes didn't have over 2 years at United with millions of players. No, he didn't, mate. He had 8 months, and he had Marouane Fellaini and Juan Mata, yeah. So fair enough, I agree. He wasn't given him much time. Jay United, thanks for your 16-month member comment, Jay. Get in there, you legend. He says, wow, 16 months already. I hope you and Mrs. P enjoyed your pizza. Their cookies are so nice when they are warm, mouth-watering. Thank you so much, Jay United. Yes, mate, I had me and Mrs. P had a cheeky Domino's earlier. We got a Meteor, and we also got the gooey cookies. Oh, those gooey cookies from Domino's are elite, guys. There's something about them. How do they make them so like crunchy on the outside and gooey in the middle? It's so good. They are insane. Thank you, Jay United, for being a member over here for 16 months. You absolute legend. Really appreciate you. Guys, we've hit 265 likes on the stream as well. Thank you, everyone. Can we get 300 likes? Give us a big thumbs up if you haven't done so. Hit the like button on it. Is Unicorn still streaming? Actually, they're... Jay? Because if she is, I can do a little cheeky raid to Unicorn, guys. Is she still streaming? I don't know. I told him about the pizza situation in Unicorn's stream earlier. Anyway, G-Wolf United, thank you very much for being a member for 55 months as well, lad. Come on. 55 months, he says, you got to fight for the Hagi. Are you still Ten Hag in then, are you, G-Wolf? Fair play. I thought you'd reached the conclusion at the end of the last game that he was absolute pure shite in the end. Oh, she's just come off. Oh, okay. No worries. Well, big up Unicorn Sky anyway. And big up yourself there, Jay. So I will send some viewers over somewhere, though. Ruddy's online. Let's give Ruddy a little raid here then. So we're going to wrap up the stream in a minute. I'll read a couple more questions out before I do, though. Or comments, I should say. So get your last couple of final thoughts in. But we are going to do a little raid of Ruddy tonight, just to show some love to the guy. We've got a few hundred people in here. Might as well share the love. Send that over to Ruddy Can't Game. Plus, he's an Arsenal scummer. I was going to say you could all go banter him, but you can't really do that right now. Juan Mata was overrated and had a clause in his contract that if he was healthy at game time, then he would have to start. Really? That's interesting, Gregory Burke. You know what else is interesting? I read that Gregory Burke has a clause in his YouTube contract which says that he has to put one absolutely mindless comment in the YouTube chat at least once per day. I'm just kidding with you, Gregory, but you what? Overrated? Juan Mata, take a fucking bow and shake your head, son. Juan Mata was quality, lad. Juan Mata was quality, mate. Oh, Juan Mata was quality. He was actually a great player for Manchester United, and he was a great player for Chelsea before that. He was a great player. He was just a sensational player. I don't understand what you're on about, Gregory. Juan Mata was actually good enough for Man United. He's one of the few players over the last decade that actually was good enough to be a Manchester United player. Mentality-wise, effort-wise, quality-wise, skill-wise, everything-wise, he actually was good. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't think I agree, personally. Oh, Iniesta has retired, hasn't he? Yeah, Iniesta retired, mate. What a career. Wanfield. Oh, who could forget that volley and stuff, mate? Exactly. Yeah, man. Come on. Oh, Mata over Bruno all day. Well, based on longevity and what he did for us, I would say yes. I agree, Butters, yeah. Oh, by the way, can we get some R.I.P. to Johan Neeskens, guys? R.I.P. to Neeskens, one of the Dutch legends of the game. Passed away, I heard today, suddenly, or whatever. Neeskens has passed away, guys. A legend of Dutch football. Let's get some R.I.P.s in the live chat there, guys. That is gash. Mata should have been used as a 10 and not on the wing. 100%. What sort of mentalist would use Juan Mata in a wide position? That's crazy, isn't it? I agree with you. You know, in the hole, unlocking defences, he had great vision. He could score a goal. Plus, also, you know, another thing about Juan Mata, he's actually the last person that we had at this club that I trusted taking free kicks. He was good at free kicks. He's the last person that we had that I really trusted. I don't trust Rashford. Every time he steps up, he might bang one in every now and again, but I expect it's going in Rose Ed half the time. Bruno Fernandes, you know, he can hit them, but again, like the consistency and the actual statistics in terms of percentages are just not there. Juan Mata, on the other hand, he would bang him in quite regularly. So he's the last good free kick taker we actually had. Yeah, Squillaci as well. I know, Robbie, the pick couple of the legends going, man. It's really gash, mate. Yeah, it's gash. Thank you, Sharif. I appreciate that. As an Arsenal fan, you want United to do well. They're second biggest club in England behind us. See what I was saying about Arsenal fans being complete tits? You know what I mean? Now, fair play, Double L. Clearly just a bit of banter from him. Nobody could actually think that. You know? Ander Herrera, how would I rate him? I'd give him 3 out of 5. He was a good player, but he wasn't a great player. I liked his mentality. I liked his effort levels. I liked his character. I liked his fight and bottle. That gets you quite far, but he's not a Scholes or a Keane or, you know, that level of player for me. He's better than most. He's better than most, but he's still, you know, he's still way below somebody like Carrick or Darren Fletcher, but he's in the next tier under those guys, I'd say. Chris Koo, thank you so much for your 29-month member comment here as well, you legend. He says, get this mother effer out of my lobby, Ineos. I've had enough. Get to fuck Erik Ten Hag. I can't take this any more of this. Please see sense, but also get it right. Stop the rot. Big up Pig and Bacon Brigade. Hope everyone is well. Thank you for being a member all that time, Chris Coolad. And I agree. Come on, Ineos. Let's make the right decision now. Tomorrow, supposedly meetings taking place. Let's come to the right conclusion, which is to try and take this in a new direction now. Pretty awful if we just stick with him and continue accepting this level of absolute gash standard, you know. Schweinsteiger, there's no real point of talking about Schweinsteiger as a Man United player. As a player, he's one of Germany's all-time greats in a lot of ways. He was a fantastic player, fantastic midfielder, great player, but not for Man United because he didn't really play for us ever. There's no point talking about him for Man United. But he was a sensational talent, though. I think Schweini was brilliant, but not for us. He didn't get a fair cracker for us, to be fair. Gav, what's going on there, Gavster? He says, Erik Ten Hag in. Get out there, Gav. Gav out. Juan Mata had 34 goals in 196 games while playing for Manchester United. Gregory, are you saying that like that's a bad thing? I don't really understand what you're saying, really, there, Greg. You're saying like that's bad. You do realise in a lot of these games he's playing deeper. You know, his best position was in the hole, but he also a lot of the times playing out wide. You know, he was randomly put out on the right wing and guff like that, left wing here and there. You know, like. That's not bad, mate. He's not a goal scorer end of the day. You know, he's a creator. He's a passer. He's a visionary. He's somebody that creates with his great passing and vision. I don't consider him a goal scorer. The fact that he got 34, though, in 196, I actually think that's pretty decent, mate, to be fair. Nice one, KK. Nice one, moderators there. Well done, absolutely. Well done there, guys. Thank you very much. Please do not spam in the live chat there like that Jordan Purcell melt. Otherwise, you will be timed out and sacked off immediately. 20 Hag will end up at Spurs. Well, I mean, I guess not many people are talking about Postecoglou. I mean, they're not having a great time of it now. They were looking like they were going to be up in like 6th place or whatever after winning that game against Brighton, but where they've melted, it's undone them a little bit. I'd still rather have a coach like that though, who sets his teams up to go for it. Second half they were piss poor. Second half, they were really piss poor. I watched the game. Second half, they were piss poor. First half, they were good, and they went for it, and they attacked, and all credit to Brighton. They just absolutely bossed it second half, and Spurs were pretty shite. They lost. Their head's gone. It's like they'd already thought they won the game at half-time. Yeah, exactly, Jonathan Gallagher. I don't get it. He's a great player, truly a great player. I've always said this. Okay, so there was that whole Spain generation, right? And it was very hard for Juan Mata to get like consistently into that Spain side because they had players like, you know, or take your pick, you know, the likes of David Silva or Iniesta and like just a shitload of really top midfielders and creative attacking midfielders and people like that, Isco and fucking just the list goes on. There's loads. It's very difficult to do, but I still maintain that you could have easily just slotted Mata into any of those top sort of Spain teams and he would have done just as good a job as anybody else pretty much. That's how good I think he was and sound technically passing wise. Technically, as a creator, visionary, and a passer, he's just as technically sound as any of those guys, if you ask me. Yeah, let's get in there, Bruce. Hey, Unicorn Sky's been a member over here for a whole year. Let's get some mad love in there, please, for Unicorn Sky, everyone. Thank you so much, Unicorn, you legendaires, for being a member over here for a whole year. That's amazing. Hey, no worries, Unicorn. I'd like to have stuck around a bit longer, but the Dominoes arrived, and me and Mrs. P had to tuck into that meteor pizza with some gooey cookies. It was very nice, actually. Considering the last Dominoes I had was absolute rubbish. The last Dominoes I had was horrible salty mess. It was like it was prepared by Erik Ten Hag or something. You know, but this time around it was a Fergie pizza, to be fair. It was nice. Oh, you were talking about Ten Hag. Oh, right, so you were yeah, well that applies too, not just to trolls but also to Ten Hag. I mean, Ten Hag is a troll in some ways. What's going on with YouTube? It's not letting me like your stream. Really? I don't know, boss. Please, can you smash a like on the video for Cake Cadet, guys? Because he can't do it. Mata was quality, weren't he? Yeah, solid quality player. Busquets, Xavi, Iniesta, Pedro Silva, Mata, Reyes, Navas. Good shout, lad. Not tonight, Sharif, no. 50 quid super chat for 1 hour. Yeah, go on then. Go on then, Sharif, lad. Mata, one of few players understood the history. Who will win the league, do you think? Probably be those City wanking cheating bastards again. Have you heard that they got off with a bunch of claims against them today or whatever it is in regards to like their essentially siphoning money from other companies that they own, you know, the commercial overinflation is what I would call it. But apparently, you know, they've won their case on those charges against the Premier League. Very frustrating, guys, very frustrating, but apparently, you know, that's it. That's how it goes. You get the best lawyers, you find all the loopholes, you know, it's tough to actually pin it down on these wankers. Obviously, that's not all the charges. There's still loads of other charges, but in regards to, like, they're taking advantage of their commercial enterprises that their owners also have interests in, they have not been found to have done any wrongdoing, I don't think, which is a disgrace, really. Wonder what's going on? Yes, Ten Hag's still here at the moment. Yes, indeed. Yep. Unfortunately, still now. Callum Hughes, 18 months a member. You really want Graham Potter in? Yeah, I mean, Graham Potter's all right. Graham Potter's shown himself to be a good coach. He did shit it at Chelsea, but, you know, that's a tough scenario to go into as well. But because of that Chelsea scenario, that does actually put me off wanting to take him because I don't think he's big enough for this job. Yes, hashtag 18. Thank you so much for that, Callum Hughes. Really appreciate that. But yeah, he's fair enough. Domino's in Australia is awful. Yeah, fair one. Yeah, my brother said the same. He said Domino's in America is just absolute gash, but he said it's quite nice over here in the UK. But the last one I had was jank, but the one tonight was good. Innocent until proven guilty. Well, fair enough, yeah. Or innocent until able to make it go away by brown paper bags underneath the table, mate. We'll see. Who's your pick to replace Ten Hag? Well, if it was down to me and I could actually make it happen, then it would probably be somebody like Eddie Howe. I feel like we could still obtain Eddie Howe. We're a bigger club than Newcastle, you know what I mean? Fuck Newcastle, mate. We can go and get Dan Ashworth off them. You know what I mean? We're a bigger club than Newcastle. If we really wanted to, I feel like we should go and get him. I don't think we will, though. No way. Out of anybody who's semi-realistic, though, it's got to be between the likes of Rude, Ollie and Carrick right now for a temporary sort of job. Obviously, you're not going to get somebody like Carrick to come temporary. You're going to have to give him a proper job. But somebody like Ollie or Rude, temporary, until somebody steps forward who is clearly the right guy to come in. Maybe you see Eddie Howe getting sacked off at some point in the near future, and then the doors are open for him, you know? Something like that. So maybe an interim actually makes sense now. Somebody to just change the fundamentals, get the attitude changed. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did it once before. Don't see why somebody else couldn't come in and get us playing different overnight. Thank you very much, Gregory Burke. I'm sure you could too there, Gregory lad. I mean, I don't think he's doing a good job at all. Imagine being 14th in the league with Man United and having our worst Premier League start ever when you've spent 600 mil. I'm pretty sure any of us could do that job to that standard. Rude or Carrick, I like that, Bruce, yeah. Yep, you won't want to, sadly. Xavi Martinez, he's another one, yep. You can do this all day. There's only one man that can save United, and that's Erik Ten Hag. Eddie Howe's good shout, thank you, Boxing. Somebody like Brian Robson. We need somebody with I'm going to raid Ruddy. I'm going to give Ruddy a raid. We need somebody with proper experience, I think, as well. Oh, yes, Kate, I heard you talking about that earlier. Yeah. Well, Mrs. P doesn't like anything spicy. That's the problem, mate. She's a bit of a melt when it comes to spice, you see. I don't mind a little bit of spice. I'm not a real big spicy lover, but she can't stand any spice. Anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap this video up and go and get on with date night with Mrs. P. Thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. We've nearly been on here as long as a game of football, so thanks for the great chat, as always. Really fantastic chat. Each and every one of you have got in here with your comments. Thanks for commenting. Sorry if I missed any of you. I don't think I did. I don't mean to anyway, but thank you, everyone, for getting in here. Hell no to Southgate. Keno would be interesting. Thank you, everyone, for getting in here. I really do appreciate it. Thank you, Gungshi. Thanks to all the moderators for being legends. Thanks to all the members for being legends. Thanks to everybody in the chat for being legends, and everyone else who's got in here and had your say, big up. Thank you, Stephen Ship, new legend, G-Wolf, Chris Koo, Gungshi, all the legends of the channel. You can come back after and have your say in the not live comments section. So get your thoughts and opinions in after this video is finished about Ten Hag's future. Is he getting sacked tomorrow? Isn't he? Etc. Come back and have your say. We will keep you up to date with what happens on this tomorrow on the channel, so keep your eyes peeled, click the bell icon for notifications, subscribe and smash the likes, and tomorrow we'll hopefully have an update on Ten Hag. We shall see if they decide to stick with him or not, hopefully by tomorrow night. Maybe not, but we'll see. Anyway, thank you, Natalia, Goffrey, Leo, Greg, everyone, Daz, Salford, you legend, Simon, Kate, Cadet, you Don. Yes, FIFA tomorrow, 100%, mate, yeah, absolutely. And we're doing the England games over the international break too. Everyone in the chat, big up you legends. Okay, here it is, guys. Here is Ruddy's stream. We're going to do a little piggy raid, guys. We haven't done one of these for a little bit. We're going to do a piggy raid on Ruddy Can't Game. He's a long-time legend of this channel, and he's a nice guy. He is an Arsenal scummer, though, which is a bit gash. But whatever. And we're going to go and raid him right now. So there you go. Raid, guys. Have some fun. Whatever. Thanks very much for tuning in. Stay classy. Tell him Piggy sent you. Go and say Piggy Raid. Go and smash a like on this video and all that. Like, subscribe, comment over here. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, and Kick at Flying Pig United. And I'll see you on the next one. And remember, Piggy loves you. And remember, thank you, Urbano. Thank you, everyone. And remember, when the seagulls follow the trawler, as this is because they sink. Thank you, Callum. This is because they sink. Sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much.